Welcome back, and this week we're going to talk about a topic that is also, again, near and dear to my heart, which most of the topics that we talk about usually tend to be, but I grew up around people that were glass half empty type of people. So me as a glass full type of person, they saw as this weirdo who looked at the world with rose-colored glasses all the time, but they didn't understand that that's actually a superpower in a way. Like, that's the mind frame that I needed to have to get through a lot of situations in my life and through some really hard challenges in my life, and still feel like I was going to be okay. So it's not that I'm naive and oblivious. It is more a personal choice of, do I want to see the world and my challenges ahead of me through a glass full or a glass empty outlook. So I'm sure you can kind of relate to this. If you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever felt like whatever you do, how hard you try, you just can't seem to get unstuck or have a breakthrough in any arena of your life. And maybe you've told yourself, hey, maybe I'm not good enough for this. Maybe I'll never be able to change who I am because it's just who I am now. It's my personality. This is just who I am, and I don't think I'll be ever be able to change. And if you've ever felt like this, I just want you to let you know that you are not alone. The secret to having, and the key to having your potential unlocked, has nothing to do with talent, has nothing to do with luck, and it's solely based on your mindset. Our mindsets are created by our environment and our experiences and our challenges and all of that as we're growing up from childhood. Okay, so now imagine two people are facing the same challenge from a different background, different upbringings, whatever. But one sees it as this insurmountable roadblock that they just can't get it across, while the other one views that same roadblock as an opportunity of growth. Which one do you think is going to succeed in the long run? Like, you see what I mean? So today we're going to dive into the power of growth, mastering mindset for personal breakthroughs, and just having a growth mindset, and why it is so powerful to have a growth mindset, and how you can start using it today to transform your life. So let's go. At the very base and the very core of what growth mindset is, and what you need to harness and fully grasp, is the belief that abilities and intelligence are not fixed traits. These aren't fixed traits that you're just born with. These are things that you can develop through a lot of effort, a lot of learning, and a lot of perseverance. This idea contrasts with a fixed mindset where people believe that their abilities are set in stone, they can't move past these things, that failure defines them, that if they tried one thing, that's it. That means that they're not smart enough, they're not good enough, and that's a fixed mindset. So why does this matter? Because your mindset shapes how you approach challenges, how you approach learning, how you even approach failures, which, if you haven't had a failure up till this point in life, congratulations, there's one coming. Like, that's just how it is. And you need to have a really good mindset to kind of pull you through facing your first failure. And research shows that people with a growth mindset are more resilient, more successful, and ultimately that leads to being happier. So another example would be, imagine two students taking a tough math test, and one thinks, I'm just not good enough at math. I'm just not good at math, and then kind of just gives up learning it and getting better at it. But the other one thinks, this is really hard. Oh my God, this is really challenging me. But if I keep at it, if I keep practicing, I can improve if I practice. So who do you think will ultimately succeed in that math class or doing more math tests? The answer should be obvious, and it's the one who believes in growth. So now that we've covered what growth mindset is at its core, let's figure out, how do we cultivate this mindset? If you've been in a fixed mindset way of thinking about life or a certain area of your life, let's break it down. There's about 3 key pillars. Number 1, embrace challenges as opportunities, as I've already explained. Viewing every obstacle as a chance to grow, no matter how big or small the obstacle is, there is always, and I mean always, a lesson in that obstacle. Whether that's getting traumatized by somebody, whether that's failing an exam, whether that's dealing with a difficult colleague, doesn't matter what it is. There's a challenge that's approaching your life right now. Just know that that's an opportunity to grow in whatever way. Whether that's you're learning about how to deal with people, whether that's learning to have your defenses up more, whether, just see it as a learning opportunity, and this is how you're going to coast through life and get better, stronger through every challenge in life, rather than getting weaker and having a darker mindset, basically, as you approach life. Instead of avoiding difficulties, lean into them. View challenges as stepping stones and not roadblocks. I think as I have gone through a lot of my own challenges and traumas and things I wouldn't want to really share on the internet right now, but overall, I feel like coming past all those things, I still have a warm, open heart. I still view the world through my quote-unquote rose-colored glasses, and that's only because I didn't harden my heart, and that's because of my mindset. It's the way that I look at life and learning that lesson. Number 2, perseverance and resilience. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of the journey. Think of when you're a little kid. You have to fail standing up a bunch of times before your body gets the idea of holding your weight on your legs and on your feet. Same as crawling, same as walking. There's moments that you had to fail at something to get better at it so that you could do that task or that thing. Think of J.K. Rowling, who was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became what it is now. Or Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school basketball team, but used the setback as motivation to become the greatest athletes of all time. Me personally too, like in junior high, the very first year in grade 7 when I tried out for basketball, I didn't make any of the teams. But that summer, I worked my ass off and I practiced every single day summertime. And when I tried out, I made senior team. And not only did I make senior team, I kicked ass, I remember, and all the other girls that were in my team weren't so happy about it because I was kicking ass and getting so much praise from our coach. And some of these girls had made the team the year prior. The most successful people have failed at something, and that could be many, many times. But the key here is that they kept going. They took the failure as I need to improve this so that I can do better. Think of Thomas Edison, who made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts, probably, before inventing the light bulb. What if he had stopped at 999? Maybe we wouldn't be having electricity and the things that we're doing now, right? Number 3 is value learning and getting that feedback when you fail. Every piece of feedback, even if it hurts your ego hearing it in the moment, which most of the time it does, and your pride, every feedback, every lesson, every setback is an opportunity to improve. And that is the mindset you need to drill into your brain. Okay, so anytime something happens, you need to be actively telling yourself that no, where is the growth here? Where am I growing as an individual, as a person here? Instead of like blaming it on the world or like I'm not good enough, blah, 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 woe is me, okay? Instead of fearing criticism, use it to redefine and strengthen your skills. I'm in an acupuncture program right now. I've finished my medical degree, okay? So when I'm getting corrected in certain aspects of this program, there are 100% times when I get criticized, some constructive criticism to improve me. There have definitely been times where it felt like a stab to my ego, to my pride, being like, the fuck? You're not, sorry. Oops, the beep, right? Like, why are you telling me this? But I've had to like sit back and be like, okay, there's clearly a reason why I need to improve, take whatever criticism this is coming towards me and incorporate it. And I become so much better at being an acupuncturist because of being able to handle criticism, even though I have already gone through this rigorous schooling before, which makes me smart, but this is a new skill that I'm learning, right? And being able to perfect this new skill, I need to be able to take criticism and incorporate it into my life so I can be better. Okay, so now that we've talked about and understanding the key principles of growth mindset and what it takes to have a growth mindset, let's talk about how to apply all of these in real life. So I'm going to give you a bunch of examples a little later on, I think, but applying these to real life. I think the number one thing to do right now would be to talk about how scientists believe that your brain was incapable of changing after a certain age for the longest time, which has been proven wrong. Okay, your brain can rewire itself and it has neuroplasticity and it's not fixed. Okay, it's adaptable. You can make new neuronal connections and change your personality, change your habits, and all of that based on neuroplasticity. Studies on neuroplasticity show that we can literally rewire our brains through practice and effort in meditation or doing that task practically, like in your 3D reality. When you challenge yourself, your brain forms new connections, making you smarter and more capable over time. People like Joe Dispenza, right? If you've done any of his retreats or read any of his book, that's all what he's about. He goes through studies, and they also do studies in Australia where they're doing brain scans on people that meditate and like go to his retreats and stuff very often. And you can see the changes in people's brains when people are rehearsing. So say you had to give a speech or you want to get better at playing a sport or something, right? And if you practice and rehearse that in your mind, I think one of the examples they also use is piano. So if you practiced playing the keys in your mind and you knew which one you were supposed to play and like get better at, there was an increase in people learning that thing that they were trying to learn. Like it took them shorter period of time and they got better much faster when they rehearsed it in their mind and meditated on it and were creating these neuronal connections in their brain before they actually started like physically doing that activity. And I think that's insane to know, and that our brains are this capable. And yeah, we just need to take better care of our brains. Okay, number 2. Reframe. This one took a while for me too, okay? But reframe your negative self-talk. And I am still currently on this journey. So this one is definitely a journey and not a final destination talking point. Because basically, you just need to get really good at catching yourself whenever you say, I can't do this, and replace it with, I can't do this yet, okay? The lingo that you use in your brain about yourself is very important, but the lingo that you use with your mouth and your voice and say to the world and to people matters even more, okay? The language that you use has a huge impact on how your world shapes around you. Having this small shift of being very cognizant about the words you speak out loud and the words you speak to yourself can feel like a very small shift in language, but can make a world of difference. So saying things like, I can't do this out loud, or I'm nervous, changing your frame of mind on that and saying, I'm excited, or I can't do this yet. I might not be good right now, but I will be once I practice. Whenever you start saying something negative, stop that thought loop and talk to yourself like your best friend came to you with the same problem, was saying the same things to her or himself. What would you tell your best friend? That is how you need to speak to yourself from this moment on, okay, to stop that negative self-talk. Number 3, set growth-oriented goals. So you're focusing on the progress of getting somewhere rather than perfection or the end goal. Setting goals that challenge you but are still within reach, so when you see a small increment, you feel happy and proud and want to continue like reaching towards that goal, and then breaking them into smaller and smaller actionable steps. So something even like growing on social media would be another one, right? I'm sure a lot of people that want to be super famous would love to have millions and millions of subscribers and followers, correct? But if that's the number that you're always going to focus on, like I want to have 5 million followers, that's going to seem a little out of reach, right? So if you, rather than striving at the end goal, have that in mind, like that's where I want to be. But if you train your mind to be like, okay, let's see if we can get to 100 subscribers, followers first. If you get there, then it's like, okay, I can do this. You got that like reward and that validation. So next, then you go, okay, let's see if I can make it to 5,000, right? Like you keep upping it to a reachable amount in small chunks. It might take you a little longer, but hey, that's the like price you got to pay. But that's how you get there, in those small actionable steps. And then along the way, when you have these moments of reaching that goal, celebrate your small wins, okay? Success isn't about reaching that final destination of 5 million, okay? Which you'll eventually get to and be able to celebrate, but you can't discredit the work that you've put in to get these small wins. Otherwise, once you do get to that 5 mil, that won't feel like you accomplished anything. Like it'll just be another day, and then kind of make these achievements that you keep striving for feel pointless and empty. And when you're appreciating the journey, like on the way there, you're recognizing your progress, big or small, and that just keeps you motivated to keep doing what you love to do, or what you love to do and want to do. And last but not least would be learn from experts. There's a research done by Carol, don't know how to say her last name, but D, on mindset, and it is shown that people who believe in their ability to grow are more successful in school, work, and life. If science backs it up, like, why wouldn't we use it? And I see this in my own personal life with people that are around me, people that have been around me in med school, people that are around me in like the school that I'm currently in right now, in the class that I'm currently in, people that have this mindset of, okay, like, I might have not done so well here, but like see it as an opportunity of growth and to learn it better. They are just doing better in life, in class, and all of that. Still skeptical, I can see. But let's look at some real life examples now of how you can put this into practice and kind of see where you can start making these small changes in your day-to-day life. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart that once you start implementing these, you will start seeing the magic around you happen and universe thanking you for it, okay? Example number 1, a struggling student. Once failing math, but with persistence, tutoring, and a shift in mindset, they eventually start mastering it, okay? You have a career setback. Someone who lost their job used their opportunity to build a new skill, leading to an even better career, like Dochi right now, I think is how you say her name. She got fired like 5 or 7 years ago from her corporate job. Said, F it, YOLO, I'm going to go to studios and see if there's an internship. She just won a Grammy last weekend. She just won a Grammy. She's at the top of her career right now in a completely different field because she took the setback as a chance to grow, as a chance to build something else for herself. And that, if that isn't the epitome of a growth mindset, then yeah, that example was bum. I've been seeing videos of her making YouTube videos when she lost her job to like where she's at now, which is insane. Overcoming fear. So a person who's terrified of public speaking, making videos online, who transformed into a confident presenter through consistent practice and feedback. I mean, if you go back and watch my original like first videos from TikTok or even on this channel, you'll see like in each video, I am growing. I'm feeling more confident saying what I want to. I'm feeling more confident talking to a camera, talking and like being relatable to the viewers watching. And that's just something like taking feedback, taking the criticism of, oh, this video didn't do so well. Why didn't this video do well? Usually because I wasn't being fully authentic to myself, right? But anyways, another one would be like a fitness journey. Someone who stuck in a workout plateau, they're not reaching their goals, but if they experimented a little, adjusted, they would eventually have a breakthrough to get that fitness goal that they're wanting. Beating procrastination would be another one. If you, myself included, a chronic procrastinator, right? Who's learned to break tasks into small steps and finally became productive. Because some of these tasks seem so daunting and it's just like, holy, this can take forever, but it actually ended up taking like maybe 5-10 minutes. Each of these people had one thing in common. Can you guess what it is? They believed that they could improve their circumstances, and they did. So what about you? Think of a time when you faced a challenge. How did you respond? Could you shift your mindset? Could shifting that mindset have an impact that would have changed the outcome? Now that we've gone over how to cultivate it, how real life examples of like when you could see this shift happening, right? How do we maintain this? Because this, let me tell you, is not easy work, okay? This is hard work to have this type of a mindset. whenever you want to scream, woe is me, like world is against me, to have to turn that around to be like, what is this teaching me instead? It's hard work, okay? Cultivating a growth mindset is one thing, but maintaining that mindset is another. And so here's how: regular self-reflection. Check in with yourself. What's working? Where can you grow? What part of life feels stuck? How can you change the mindset around that? Where can you bring more life into that area? You can use this in a journal exercise. You can do this meditation, but you need to do this regularly, like once a week or twice a week or once a month, whatever floats your boat on like how fast you want things to shift and change. Like you need to chop on that right away. Seek support and mentorship. So if you surround yourself with people who look at the world with glass half empty, are you going to change fast? No, because when you start trying to have that mindset shift, they're going to pull you back into the ways of how they have known you to be and what they feel comfortable with. So surround yourself with people who push you forward and not hold you back is a really big one. Stay curious. That's another one. Never stop learning. Like I always say, you're a student of life, for life, literally for life. Like there shouldn't be ever a time where you feel like you know everything. There's always more to learn. There's so much that we just don't even know about our own human bodies right now. There's always something to learn. And it also just doesn't have to be in the science world. It can be philosophy. It can be, there's just in every arena, honestly. You can learn how to clean your house better. You can learn how to do laundry better. Like, there's always something to learn. Explore new ideas, new cultures, new languages, try new experiences, challenge your own beliefs, your limiting beliefs, your mindset. Yeah, I could go on. Practice self-compassion. So there's a video that I've done on this already and how self-compassion can change your life. I will link it over here. But celebrating your successes, and even if you have failures or setbacks, being kind to yourself, being nice and loving to yourself instead of being a bully to yourself is huge. Growth isn't linear, and that's okay. And then last but not least would be learn from your failure. Instead of fearing mistakes and be like, oh no, I'm going to make a mistake again, embrace them as learning opportunities. If I make a mistake, I'll learn and I'll do better next time. Simple as that. Instead of giving yourself anxiety and probably bringing that reality closer to yourself of making that mistake again or making a different, worse mistake. I think that's kind of all I wanted to talk about that. And take this nice and slow. I know this video was a lot, and it can be triggering to know that there are things that you can do regardless of your circumstances to change them, even though you feel like there's nothing you can do in this circumstance. You can always create change by having a change in perspective and mindset. At the end of the day, your mindset determines your reality. So having a growth mindset isn't just about achieving goals. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about instilling these values and principles of life and how you view the world and how you live. And the road to success is paved with challenges, setbacks, and failures, and that's never going to change. So how are you going to overcome them? And every one of those setbacks and challenges and failures is an opportunity for you to grow. As hard as that is to hear. Sorry. So ask yourself, are you ready to embrace the power of growth? If so, let's start today. Choose one challenge you've been avoiding and tackle it head on today. Growth begins with a single step after another single step and then another single step. But the only thing standing between you and your potential breakthrough is the belief that you can achieve it. And that's on that. So go out there and grow. Okay? If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share who needs this gentle reminder. If you have any questions on growth mindset and areas that you can kind of improve this on, comment that below. And until next time, bye.